So welcome everyone to Talking Neat. Today, got in the studio, Greg in good company. How's
Thanks
it going?
for having us, Jason. It's going excellent.
Very good.
Yeah, we made it here in one piece. It's raining outside and nobody killed us in California, so always a good day.
Do you often get killed in California?
Actually, funny enough, some guy did try to kill me about a year ago. Like, no joke, my landlord tried to murder me.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Oh my God.
And we actually,
That's a crazy
I went.
story.
We had a cool gig lined up. We were opening for a friend's band, Mechanical Roots, for their album release show. It's Silver Lake Lounge, which is a fun venue to play. And I got arrested the night before because this guy tried to kill me. And then when he tried to run me over this truck twice. And then when he got it, well, the first time he tried to hit me, he got out of his car saying he was going to kill me. I ended up defending myself, putting him on the ground, and then we each called 911, and then he tried to kill me again. He literally chased me down the street. I thought I was going to die. And I ended up getting arrested because he was older than me. So they thought a young man like myself was the aggressor.
Oh, yeah, like what, you assaulted him or something?
Yeah, I just for no reason. It had nothing to do with the fact he tried to run me over. I tried to kill him. So that was a pretty wild experience. But you know, on a rainy day in California, people just do not know how to drive in the rain out here. I'm from the East Coast. Alexis from Germany. Lots of weather there.
Granted, though, I will have to say, like, the amount of water that's coming down that's intense.
Yeah.
Like,
there's
I mean,
some
even
flooding
for,
winds.
like, a German, I'm like, this is a lot of water.
So I guess I now see why you're not part of In Good Company. It's Greg in good company.
Yeah, well, it started because it was a whole thing. It started probably about 4 years ago, where it was just me as a singer-songwriter, and I got a percussionist.
Was it just called Greg?
I was just Greg Gilman. It was just I just kind of stumbled into it. I came out to California to be a screenwriter and to do comedy, and I was doing musical comedy for years out here, and I kind of just stumbled into performing.
So
more
were you just
meaningful
like
songs.
playing your own songs and people were laughing at it?
Yeah.
I mean, that's one way to just,
man.
I mean, no, I'm a musical comic.
This is for serious, guys. Stop laughing. No, I used to sing stuff like one of my people really liked a song called the Blowjob Song, which would probably not fly anymore.
But it is Valentine's Day, so it might be appropriate today.
We got late, but we appropriate.
Yeah, we do have a song called. A lot of our music still in Greg and Good Company. A lot of it is some of it's very tongue in cheek and fun and goofy, and some of it's not. But yeah, so I started as a singer-songwriter, and then I just kind of started getting this band who was like wanting to play with me. And after a couple months, I was like, hey, shouldn't we be like a band? Instead of just Greg Gilman, and the name Greg and Good Company came up to me on the way to rehearsal, and to me, it's just all about our values. I think is just to be good company, drama-free to each other, but also attract good company, attract quality people who want to come hang out with us at shows, and try to just put out good vibes into the world.
So you seem like someone who's got a ton of drama surrounding you. I mean, just the first two things I've heard about you. I mean, you don't have a blowjob song and not have drama going on.
I'll be honest with you, it's aside from that guy trying to kill me and going to jail for that for a day, I really live a pretty drama-free life.
It's true. There's not a lot of drama.
We don't have much drama.
I live by never trust a guy in a pink shirt.
And that kind of hat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like to keep people guessing,
So, now did you hear the blowjob song? And I gotta play with this guy.
I have never heard the blowjob song. I gotta hear it.
You know what? I can't even play. I couldn't even play it anymore. I haven't played it for a long time. I also had a great song called the Magnum Condom Song, which is about having sex with a woman on a first date, but she only has Magnum condoms.
And
so you have to have sex with a Magnum condom, and then it falls off, and then it becomes a whole ordeal of getting it out. That was a good one.
I'm starting to see a theme of this guy, this musical comic, who wasn't getting anything, who didn't score well with the ladies.
Yeah, I had to write about what I wanted.
Yeah, like get laid.
Getting laid, yeah.
I do remember hearing that song because that was one of the songs I had to learn for the audition, and I'm listening to the lyrics and I'm like, this is kind of very interesting, you know?
That was
it's like, who is this dude?
He made you audition with that song?
Yeah, that was the EP.
I don't think I demanded you audition to get laid, but I certainly welcomed it.
But people love it if you play it live.
It's a fun song. It's a fun song. It's really
It's
kind of
funky and
it's a fun, funky song, and it's not taking itself too seriously, but it's singing all about how a lot of people tend to be looking for relationships, and it's just kind of like, hey, I just want to get laid, you know. So check it out. Check it out online. We got a music video for it and everything.
Starting out.
Yes.
Rebel Yell.
The real reason we're here. Free whiskey.
Yeah, we shouldn't even do an interview. Just drink.
just drink and talk, right?
So this is a Kentucky bourbon, and that's all I'm going to say about it.
Okay. Cheers.
Cheers.
Here we go.
Oh shit, he drank it. No, I'm just kidding.
Mmm. That's how I taste whiskey. It's not bad. Not bad.
I didn't think it was that bad. I got it for $4.99 at the grocery store. And that's not normally where I get my whiskey. I was just walking by and $4.99.
Be good enough for Greg.
Yeah.
I like to experiment with cheap beer, cheap liquor, and cheap wine because I think I consider myself a connoisseur of cheap alcohol because sometimes you find a really good beer that's super cheap or a good wine, and it's just like, wow, like this is fantastic. It's so good, and it's only $5 or whatever.
I don't think I found that.
So you were in a previous band?
I've been in a lot of bands. Yeah, different ones. So
this is actually Greg and Company is my first band. Alexa's like 10
I've done
millionth.
this for like 20 years almost, so long time.
And I'm very fortunate to have experienced musicians like Alexa surrounding me, because otherwise I'd have no idea what to do.
Probably be in jail after beating up the landlord. Alexa, come bail me out again.
We almost had to, right?
Actually, fun fact, good thing, if you guys go to jail, just take comfort in knowing that the bail bonds industry is so competitive that they will call your family and just leave ominous messages like, hey, your brother's in trouble, call me immediately. And then, so my sister ended up bailing me out before I even knew she knew about it.
In July 1st, the bail bond industry in California is going to cease to exist.
Really?
Yes.
This July 1st?
Yes.
Okay.
Unless
so don't get
the
arrested
governor,
again.
Yeah. Well, they're saying that it's unfair to I guess lower income people, because no matter what the bail is, they can't afford it. So it's going to be kind of like a release program, depending on the crime.
Gotcha.
So it's going to be a whole new thing.
All right, well.
So, I mean, you attempting to murder your landlord, that you're probably
like
going to be there for a while.
You're twisting the story here. He tried to murder me.
No.
I just murdered him back.
The
cops caught me burying a body. I was like, what's the big deal? He tried to kill me.
I just chose to take his side based on the evidence I've seen so far. Cheap beer, check.
Pink shirt.
Pink shirt.
I am going through a pink phase. But I thought this shirt was appropriate.
Blowjob song?
Yeah.
Do you see the shirt? Do you see what it says? I thought this was an appropriate shirt.
The Power Hour Girls?
Power Hour Girls. So I figured, maybe me and Alexa will look like these drunk Powerpuff Girls by the end of this. Who knows?
But they're not drunk, are they?
Yeah, I think they're shit-faced.
I think that's how they
normally
shit-faced. Look.
Yeah, my buddy made it. I thought it was a cool
drooling.
shirt. I grew up with the Powerpuff Girls, so it's like a cool twist on them. Kids, super powered children being wasted. It's the good values that Greg and Good Company is all about.
So now you guys had your first album come out.
American Way.
American Way. What was that? A couple months ago?
Came out in July.
July.
But as an independent band, we're gonna keep promoting that for next year.
Keeps coming out.
Just keeps coming. Yeah, it just came out yesterday actually. We don't have that record label push that's like, oh, the world knows about it. It's slowly but surely rolling out.
Do you want that record label push though? I mean, is that the goal?
I would like a big marketing push. I would like the machine behind me, but record labels, from all the research I've done, is actually a very risky business as a musician to enter in if you care about just being able to the freedom to express yourself.
They own you if you do.
Yeah, they really own you. They might not ever release your album, and
that rarely happens though.
Oh really?
Yeah, that rarely happens, and they rarely like tell you. Most of the time, they don't care if you're singing songs about blowjobs or whatever. They might not make that your first single going to radio, but they don't have the staff anymore to like babysit you.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, because I know people that have been in signed bands, and it's like, yeah, the album might have gotten released, but they kind of like release stuff, and then they see what like catches on, and then they throw all their money behind that.
You have the 1 week.
Yeah.
Depending on your chart position, that's how they.
And they've gotten dropped. People get dropped. Like,
yeah.
That's how they base the push.
My outlook is that we have, in this day and age, we have so many technological tools. As an independent musician, I really think it is entirely possible to, effectively be your own record label. It's just a learning curve, and it's just it's a matter of putting forth the effort and making it a priority in your life. And I would like to think that it's all about just building a fan base, and eventually we'll get to a point where we will be able to have that big push without being on a major label. But maybe like I think you're kind of talking about like smaller indie labels too than these giant corporations. I'd be more open to that, a more community type of label. But big labels scare me, and honestly I don't think I have the look. I don't think we have the look to be on a Sony or Warner Brothers or Universal. We're not cool enough.
It depends. If it sells, they don't care.
Yeah,
but I think nowadays, I mean, the cool thing is, it's like, 15, 20 years ago, you couldn't have done a lot on your own. It's like nowadays you can do a lot of promoting and marketing on your own, and you have channels to put it out on, I
mean, now you can technically get your album sold. You can get it on all the same platforms that the big guys put it on. It's just really hard to tour without a label.
Touring is a scary.
Touring is where you make money.
I'm terrified of touring. We haven't done any big tour yet. We'll play out of the LA area for certain gigs, but we haven't done any kind of a tour yet. And for me, that is, just a terrifying prospect. But it also sounds really fun, and I look forward to hopefully doing one this summer. Maybe going up north, but not quite yet.
Now you say up north. Are you talking like Bakersfield or up north?
Just like go up the coast,
Actually, Fresno. I've played some good gigs in Fresno. It's like cities that are, like where they don't have a lot of big acts, or
or there's not a lot to do.
They really appreciate it.
Yeah.
So it's like I've played gigs like Fresno, Sacramento. It's like kind of like making your way up that way. Is a good idea.
We've talked about going to Germany actually. Alexa has made touring in Germany seem like heaven.
It's great. Yeah,
other
Europe
than the
is
airfare, it just seems like a fun. And I've never been to Europe, so it would be a cool experience.
And you can get a passport?
I can get a passport.
Really?
Yeah. Okay. Because since I didn't finish Burying the Body, I can get a passport now. So.
Have you ever said something in German around him just because you don't want Greg to know what you're saying?
I don't think, other than the German lesson, no.
Yeah, we have a series which we'll do another episode soon where it's called Alexa Teaches Us German, and still working on that title. Alexa Teaches Us German, and we have an episode up on our YouTube channel. So if you want to learn some German from the
talks a lot
here.
about the German words for poop and taking a dump.
My favorite subjects.
And Christmas cookies.
It's something that everyone can relate to.
Yeah.
So
there you go.
I like to keep it on par with the common man. Everyone takes dumps, so.
You especially, though.
Yeah.
Do you think the German language is like a harsh language? Like you can say something really.
I don't think it's as harsh as people make it out to be.
I
You know, when they make fun of it, they make it like, you know, like really harsh.
Well,
it's like I just talk normal, and people that hear me talk, they're just kind of like, it's not that harsh.
I used to work
you
with
know?
the band Rammstein.
Oh yeah.
And
Dude.
so
Awesome.
I'd be like at their shows and stuff, and they'd be talking like I'd ask them a question, and then they'd have a like for some of the guys who didn't speak any English, they'd have a translator, and it was like, and it's like he says good to meet you. Like, bullshit.
That I'll say. So I went to Brazil. My stepmother's Brazilian, so I have this whole other extended family of Brazilians.
I didn't know that.
And I went there, I think, in 2016 for the first time, and I stayed with my aunt, my stepmom's older sister, and they would be at the dinner table like, like talking to each other, and I'd be like, Dad, what's going on? Because he would translate for me, and I'd be like, are they mad? What's going on? Are they mad at me? And yeah, it would just be like completely pleasant conversation, but the passion they put into their, I don't know if it's just my family or if that's representative of the Brazilian population, but yeah. So what I'm saying is,
What you're saying is, you know.
I know nothing, and my family likes to yell at each other, and it was fun to watch.
No, he's pretty much saying German is a very scary language.
I definitely would not want to learn it. It's hard.
Is
like
it
so difficult to learn, like the grammar and yeah.
But in 2 years, if you watch enough Greg and Good Company interviews and German lessons and songs, you will be completely fluent in German.
Greg in guter Gesellschaft.
Greg
in guter Gesellschaft.
Greg in guter Gesellschaft.
Greg in guter Gesellschaft.
Okay, I know German. She said Greg's a dumb shit.
Cheers to that.
So this is Few. It is a rye.
What is?
Explain its significance.
Well, rye is, it's kind of like you have different grains that go into whiskey. Like this was made with a lot of corn. This is rice. This is mostly rye. I mean, you don't do all rye, but you can put barley, you can put rye, you can put like different malts, corn.
Well, for the record, I like this one better than the first one.
So.
This is like $4.99. This is like $80.
But maybe it's the rye though. Maybe it's the rye.
And
80? 80?
Uh-huh.
Oh.
And so this is.
Thanks for giving me the good
this
stuff.
one comes out of Evanston, Illinois. And I love the story behind this one. So it's called Few. They make bourbons, ryes,
take a look at it.
See, I like it.
malts, multi-grain, all kinds of different whiskeys. And in the 1800s, after the Civil War, there was the temperance movement. Have you heard of that? It was kind of like what led into Prohibition, but it was just people shaming the town drunks.
Gotcha.
You'd come out of a bar and they just, it was usually like ministers' wives, just go up and publicly shame you and call you the drunk and all that kind of stuff. And they were trying to ban alcohol. And the temperance movement led into the Prohibition like 30 years later. So there was this one lady, she was a minister's wife. She started getting like sit-downs with pretty big people. She got President Hayes at the time. She got a sit-down with his wife. President Hayes told her she's a nut job, and because he's like drinking. But his wife joined the movement. Frederick Douglass's wife joined the movement. All these kind of big, powerful women started joining this temperance movement. And the lady's name was Frances Elizabeth Willard. And so they took her initials and created this distillery. Her husband's church was right around the corner from where this distillery opened up.
Interesting.
And so I love the story because it's kind of a big fuck you to her.
Yeah, you talking about that brings flashbacks to. I watched a lot of documentaries, so I watched the Ken Burns Prohibition one, and that was pretty fascinating because I had no idea. You know, everyone knows Prohibition existed, but it's like how it got there, and it was a really good example. Used the word shaming, and we might be seeing some of that today in some.
We actually had it in the 80s with the PMRC, Parental Media Rights Association, who it was led by Tipper Gore, Al Gore's wife, when he was a senator, and they wanted to ban all like bad lyrics in music.
And that's what started parental advisory.
Yeah, and that's what came out of it. But
when we bought CDs, it parental advisory.
I mean,
buying Rage Against the Machine as an 11-year-old was tough for me, but I got it done.
See, it's just so funny to me because it's like in Europe, like nobody cares about like bad words.
So you were West German.
Nothing is ever bleeped out. Like even in the UK, I don't think anything is bleeped out.
So you are West German then? Okay.
Yeah.
Because in East Germany, they used to have these grandmas who would, because a lot of the old elderly people were allowed to cross the wall from East Germany into West Germany. Like I think it was once a month they could get a pass.
That, yeah.
For just a couple of hours. They didn't consider them a threat.
Anyway, so
so they would actually go across the border and they'd bring back heavy metal music into East Germany. They just kind of, I don't want to know what folds they kind of hid it under, but they snuck music.
What a great visual.
It was probably like the big album, right? Like in the 80s? Probably wasn't even CDs.
Yeah, there were CDs.
Vinyls.
Yeah, I'm thinking CDs. Yeah. Crap, man. That's just even worse of a visual.
Maybe cassettes. Maybe they had cassettes.
Oh, cassettes. That's right.
8 tracks.
Yeah, and that's how they were called the heavy metal grannies.
That's like a Steven Spielberg movie. He's got to make that movie. That's a cool story.
Yeah, the guys from Rammstein told me that's how they used to get.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a couple of them were from East Germany.
Interesting.
And so, yeah, they told me they kept up with all the big bands because they had heavy metal grandmas.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I always thought that was pretty cool.
That's a documentary I'd watch. Ken Burns needed to make that, and then Steven Spielberg needs to adapt it with Liam Neeson playing the grandma. He has a very particular set of skills. He can look like a grandma and kick ass.
So what do you guys have coming up? You're gonna keep working this album.
So we have a couple really fun shows coming up. If you're in the Los Angeles area, we're playing at Harbel's in Santa Monica, and
that's not the ice cream place, right?
No, that's Carvel's,
okay.
which I grew up with as well, and I like that too.
Yeah, they're really big.
I like their ice creams. Yeah, I think their ice cream cakes are a little overpriced in a grocery store.
The Cookie Puss?
Yeah, they're really good though.
Cookie Puss?
Have you ever had a Cookie Puss?
Like, is that like an octopus, like kind of ice cream cake shaped?
It's an ice cream cake.
Okay.
It's a little round ice cream cake made by Carvel.
Okay. Not to be confused with
vagina?
Harbel's.
No, it's not. It's very clean. It's just a nice cake. Then they call it the cookie. It's like
I didn't know it's called the Cookie Puss, but I've eaten plenty of Cookie Pussies.
I see a new song coming up.
Return to my roots.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're playing Harbel's at this really cool show. It's called West Side Revival, and it is just this kind of budding music scene, rock and roll music scene in the West Side, and really fun shows. And then we're playing March 12th at the Redwood Bar, and then we're playing at Lucky Strike Live in Hollywood, which is a fantastic venue. Yeah, it's bowling alley, but it's like a great music venue too.
Yeah.
One of the best stages, one of the best sounds.
It's actually come up last like 3 or 4 years as a really good venue.
Yes, they've been pushing ever since I think House of Blues closed down. They want to seize an opportunity, but it's a great venue. I go to see shows there, and I love playing there. We're playing there April 18th.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and then in terms of recording, we're definitely we're just starting to work on new material now. So we'll be debuting a new song our next gig at Harbel's. Now I just think of ice cream cake, Cookie Pussies, and I just flashed my mind.
I've ruined you.
I'm just so hungry, you know.
You know what? Let's get a new visual. Heavy metal grandmas
with Cookie Pussies.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll be definitely putting out, I would say, probably a new EP, hopefully by the end of summer.
Okay.
So we're gonna get back in the studio and probably do another batch of 3 or 4 songs.
Very cool. So now listening to some of your songs, I can kind of hear like the old Greg, kind of like the little tongue-in-cheekness in the lyrics a bit. Do you try and like kind of throw in like a little quips in there?
I think
When you remember the lyrics.
when I remember lyrics on stage, that's always tough.
Really? You forget your lyrics?
I forget my lyrics and what.
But it's always the same songs and the same like verses and stuff like that. It's pretty.
Yeah, I'm guilty of that. But what happens is there's two things. So either I lose focus or I'm focusing too hard. There's like a sweet spot where you're just being and you're just on stage and you're playing and you're not thinking about it and you're just doing it. And then there's sometimes I'll see someone in the audience or something going on and I'll just like my mind will start thinking about that. Or I'll be thinking about what am I gonna cook, for dinner tonight or something, and then next thing I know, a lyric's coming up.
You were so serious about our shows. That's amazing.
So
I'm just saying, it happens. It happens.
So like you're up on stage and you see someone, and are you like thinking, oh shit, we actually have a fan here?
Sometimes.
Oh my god.
Honestly, sometimes I'll be like, wow.
Look alive, boys.
Sometimes I will. It will be. It dawned like this person's really into what we're doing right now, and that's really cool, and that can throw me off.
The drugs.
And sometimes and I'm like, these people are not into what we're doing, and that who knows? But it's I'm getting better at it. I'm getting better.
Is it weird playing?
By the time we're a national touring act, it won't happen ever again.
Is it weird playing a bowling alley? Like people bowling?
Actually, no, not at all. Because the way it's set up is that it's pretty like the bowling is in the back. And the stage is very prominent, like by the bar area, so it's the bowling isn't really.
You can still keep track of like what people are doing though. Did
yeah.
you like call out somebody like?
We had a guy
bowling a strike or something.
Yeah, we had a guy open up the show. He was an acoustic act, Mendeleev, and he just started talking about bowling, and it was really funny. He just kind of started riffing on talking about people's, their
bowling
frames
skills,
and whatnot.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's fun to kind of. Riff off what's happening, but
that must make your mind wander when you're up there.
Yeah, I don't think that our last Lucky Strike show, I don't think I forgot any lyrics. I think I was pretty good that time. Yeah. And a lot of times when I forget it, I'm able to just mumble through it.
Clap.
So like Alexa will be like, "God damn it, Greg forgot his lyrics again." But the audience generally, because I'll mumble through it, and I'll make a rhyme real quick. And they don't know. And a lot, like me as a listener, I don't sit there and listen to the lyrics. When I first listen to a band, I'm really just taking it all in. It's hard to really isolate just what, some people focus on that. But I think the average person is just kind of taking it all in, so they're not going to notice it.
So, like when you're thinking that, in your head, are you cursing at him in German? Or?
I'm more like laughing in English, I think.
Oh, haha is translated,
yeah,
it's universal.
Yeah. Why?
So this is a single malt Scotch, and there's 6 different regions in Scotland, and it's got to be from Scotland to be able to call it a Scotch.
Okay. I was just
you can have like a single malt from the United States, but it's not going to be a Scotch.
Gotcha.
But there's 6 very distinct regions in Scotland, and they all have very different qualities. And this is an island, and it's from the island of Skye, and it's very smoky. So it's not a beginner whiskey or a beginner Scotch, but fuck it. We're on a journey.
I like this journey, and I like smoky alcohols actually.
This one, I think, was 80.
Oh, okay. I like that $80 bottle, so I probably like that one too.
See, you can't even judge. You just judge based on price. You don't even know. You don't even have an actual appreciation. You're just so shallow. You only care about the price tag.
You know what? I'll switch it on her and give her a list, and we'll see if she knows the difference. So this is Talisker. The only distillery on the island of Skye. Strike!
And it's a really good thing that I just did a little, poured the excess out, because that would have got all over me. would have got pulled over. I would have got a DUI. I would have had to fight the cop. Would have gone to jail again.
Back to
See,
jail,
that's what I want.
Not be able to be bailed out.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I can. No, you gotta have a little more.
Okay.
So, drinking a smoky whiskey, it's gonna hit you. And these aren't even. They have smokier whiskeys from the Isla region, but they are. It's almost like too far gone, but they're really good. But with this, I mean, you still get a lot of smokiness, and it's gonna hit you and stay with you the rest of the day.
Wow, I'm excited. Cheers to that.
See what Andrea says about that.
Right? Wow.
Wow,
Yeah,
it is
this is
smoky.
so good.
Yeah.
This is like,
Wow.
I would just read a book and sip this.
It's
This
really
is really
mild.
good.
Like it
Yeah.
doesn't burn.
It is.
It's really smooth. Holy shit.
Wow. It's really smoky.
It actually tastes like the home I grew up in. So
Did it burn
I
up?
grew up on a farm type area. You know,
Yeah,
that was really insensitive, Alexa. What if it did? You would
See,
have felt really bad about that remark.
I was thinking you had a meth lab and it burned the house down. Meth
No,
lab
this whiskey
explosion.
tastes better than meth, actually. No, I grew up in a farm type place, and it was a wood burning stove, and so our house always had this.
Were you the
smoky-
stupid kid that would lick the ashes up?
You're
I'll
paying
give-
on me, Jason. It's
I'll
so
give you a
high.
nickel.
I'll lick anything. I'll lick anything.
Get Greg, he'll lick it.
Actually, I think I was definitely the type of kid like 5-second rule, more like 60-second rule, and I'd like get sick.
I like it.
Mm.
See, that's
Yeah,
kind
it
of,
just reminds me of like my.
it's almost like a campfire. And
Yeah, this is so good. This is excellent.
So why does it? Why is it so smoky? What causes that?
They, you know, the bogs. Like, have you ever been to Scotland?
Mm-mm.
They have these bogs. They're kind of like Scottish swamps and all this like decomposing moss and like, weeds and trees and all that. They fall in it, and like 100 years later, it's like they cut out these bricks out of the bogs,
yeah, okay.
and then they light those on fire to kind of smoke the barrels, and that flavor goes into the whiskey.
Wow. That's
And
weird.
they only do it they actually, like the island whiskeys have a more grassy peat, and the island, the Isla have a more decomposing like bark and tree and moss, so it's a lot smokier. And people say they can taste the difference in the smokiness, like not how much smoke is in it, but the flavors, the
Flavor,
difference. And I'm
smoke
just
flavor?
like,
Yeah.
bullshit, you
Yeah.
can't taste that. Maybe I'm not there yet. It's just like wine.
Yeah, that's really good. I mean,
Yeah.
Talisker.
Do you write all the songs, like the lyrics, or is it more of
Yeah.
a collaboration?
For the most part, with the exception of one song, I specifically said, hey, I want for our co-vocalist Lee, who also plays bass or plays keys for us, and I said, I want you to sing a song, so, let's work on lyrics together. But in general, it's just me. I spend a lot of time working really, I'm a writer by trade, so I make my living writing various things. So to me, lyrics to me are like the most, it's like a good melody, and then you need good lyrics, because there's so many songs that are cool, fun songs, but then when you really listen to lyrics, you're like, well, what are you really singing about? Yeah, so I think before I even bring a song to the band, it's got to have a lyrical punch to it that I think will connect with people. So yeah, I put a lot of time and energy into my lyrics.
Really? I knew you couldn't say that with a straight face.
I'm just like
I'm listening.
Wikipediaing, just stealing lines from other old '80s bands. No one will double check.
I figured
I'm just translating Rammstein.
I figured
English.
you just turn on the TV and you go, oh, Superman. Oh, Stranger Things.
Actually, yeah, that happens. There's been multiple songs where I get inspired by. I think we're all inspired by media. That's how we view the world. But Stranger Things was when that Netflix show first came out. Yeah, you were in a band because. So what happened was, I got super stoned with my buddy. We watched all 8 episodes. We ate a bunch of junk food. It was great. And then as soon as he left, I picked up my guitar and I just started strumming this melody and singing the chorus, which is "Show Her the Way to the Monster's Lair." And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna write. I'm gonna just kind of take the story of Joyce Byers, use that as kind of a blueprint, and I wrote this whole song. It's really about her kind of character's journey, and I would love, like 3 days later, it's like, hey guys, we need to record a song, and we didn't even rehearse it. We just had everyone come to the studio. I had sent you like a voice memo, right?
Right, yeah.
And Alexa came in and killed it on drums. You know, just like it took us like probably 20 minutes for I think like the fine tuning before we recorded it. And that song is currently on 88.5 FM out here, which is a really good radio station.
It's actually a really good song.
Yeah, thank you. And it's just crazy, like
the drum parts.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, it's just crazy how that song came together, and the fact that that song resonates with so many people, and then that's the one that is getting the most promotion right now.
I saw the show.
Didn't care for it.
It was good, but I mean the way people carry on about it. I haven't even seen season 2 yet. I'm just like, eh.
Well, you don't. Then why waste your time? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the song was actually good. I like the song better than I like the show.
Woo!
It could just be the whiskey talk.
And it was funny too because when I'm writing that song, so I'm very much like in my own world in my head, and so my girlfriend came from work,
really?
and she wanted to go out to dinner. So we're going out to dinner, and the whole time I'm trying to engage and have a nice dinner with her. Whole time I'm just running lyrics in my head, and just so like I'd written probably half the song over the course of having dinner with my girlfriend without her knowing that I'm also thinking about other stuff, and then I came home and finished the song. So
it's better that than like the blowjob song that you're ignoring her over. What are you thinking about? The job.
Get laid.
Yeah, that song. I don't think I could even play most of my old comedy. It's a different time now, different sense of humor with audiences, which is fine.
So did you grow up or grow out of it?
I think. Well, what it was truly is I realized how. Not that music isn't equally hard, actually maybe even harder, but comedy is really hard. Like stand-up comedy, it's a grind. And the guys and women who I know are successful in it, one guy I know I used to work with, Matt Ingerbretson, who's on the Comedy Central show Corporate. And so I knew him while he was just moved out here. He was doing just open mic nights every night, and we'd be at the office at 6 a.m., and he'd be asleep during his lunch break every time. And I remember just being like, wow, this guy who's hilarious is so committed. I can't ever imagine having that kind of commitment to stand-up comedy. So just by playing, what happened was a friend of mine died, and I wrote this song called Dedication Song, and I had this urge to play it. I just wanted to perform it somewhere. So I went to an open mic in Burbank and played a song, and the audience reception was really good. And this amateur producer came and said, hey, I want to record your song. So it was kind of that moment that I thought, oh, maybe there's something to what I'm doing here, and I should keep pursuing. I just got a good feeling from it. And so once that happened, I never kind of looked back, and I just have been on the singer-songwriter, music, band path.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How are we doing on time?
Like 10 more minutes.
Okay. So are you a Superman fan? Since you did Lift
to some degree.
A little bit.
Yeah, the American way, Truth, Justice, and American Way. I mean, I think.
So that's old Superman.
That's old Superman.
Like,
yeah, they don't even.
What, 50s?
Yeah, that was like the original. I think Superman represented great American values that are disappearing, unfortunately, from leadership. So that's kind of the irony there.
So it's more of a political statement.
Sure, the song American Way, which is the title track, and really was so, because I'm, work in digital media, I'm just constantly, and we all are, right, just bombarded by all the problems in the world that get, amplified by social media and the news media. And so that was kind of just poured out of me before Trump got elected.
So it wasn't you writing that song in response to Alexa becoming a citizen going, this is how we do things in America.
No.
He's like, you're making a mistake.
Sure? Yeah, get out now. Get out now. No, it was just kind of frustration, and it's a really loaded song in terms of what I'm talking about. But I think the American way is now complaining and kind of just being in a constant state of outrage. I think it's our new America's pastime is no longer baseball. It is just complaining on social media. That is, I think, our most, what we all have in common. We all do it. We're all guilty of it, including myself. And so it's a lot of us complaining about stuff, but not actually mobilizing or doing stuff that will lead to change.